Fortnite is trying to evolve from being known as just a battle royale. With the ending of last season, Fortnite teased at 3 brand new game modes coming to the game that uses the intellectual properties of Lego, Rocket League, and Harmonix to create 3 new experiences within the game of Fortnite. The Rocket League racing game and the rhythm game are pretty self-explanatory to figure out just what they are, but Lego Fortnite was the main game that really piqued my interest as to what it might be. So I reinstalled Fortnite with the new updates and gave it a try. First things first, just to get this out of the way, Lego Fortnite is nothing like Minecraft. I've been seeing a lot of talk on Twitter saying that Lego Fortnite is going to kill Minecraft, and I just don't understand it. I feel like a lot of people were really confused during the Fortnite event as to what the game was actually going to be. I mean, I had friends thinking that it was just going to be the same Battle Royale mode, but in Lego form.
Did you think it was going to be a Battle Royale?
Yeah, I did.
But once it was discovered that it was going to be a survival game, immediately people's minds jumped to Minecraft, and that part I can understand why. Minecraft is like the biggest and most mainstream survival game there is, but when you start to play Lego Fortnite, the comparison just isn't there. Minecraft is entirely in a league of its own, with its procedurally generated sandbox landscape where every single inch of the map is interactable. The game came out officially in 2011 and has repeatedly added content updates ever since, so there's really no catching up to Minecraft. Now look, I'm sure some of the people making the Minecraft comparisons are joking, sure, but if you just load up the game yourself, you quickly understand just how incredibly different this new game is from Minecraft. In actuality, Lego Fortnite is actually a direct ripoff of Valheim. If you don't know what Valheim is, it's a game from a small indie developer team called Iron Gate Studios who made a survival game intertwined with the culture of the Nordic gods. You're basically a reincarnated warrior placed in this 10th realm named Valheim, where you must venture into biomes that increasingly become more difficult to traverse and kill bosses that are deemed Odin's strongest enemies. Eventually, once all the bosses are dead, there will presumably be a final showdown in Asgard with Odin himself, where you will be accepted into the afterlife or something. But the game is unfinished. However, Iron Gate Studios did a fantastic job at creating a fun survival game in an interesting world that's both punishing but fun to explore. The core gameplay loop is as follows. You enter a new biome, collect all the resources that biome has to offer, craft everything new that there is to craft to become stronger so that you can fight the boss of that biome and then move on to the next difficulty level of biome. Then, repeat this until all bosses are dead and you have the best items and most advanced home base and there's nothing else to do or craft or collect. I really enjoyed Valheim and I played it all the way through until I ran out of content. It's a really addicting gameplay loop that thrives upon the player's curiosity for what challenging enemies, bosses, or creative mechanics lie ahead of you in a new biome. And then the thought of becoming the world's most powerful Viking warrior and slaying all these enemies that even Odin is afraid of is pretty badass. It gives the player purpose and hope that one day you'll meet Odin himself and finally complete this adventure. I, like a lot of people, adore the Lego IP, especially the video games. I also really like Fortnite's IP even though it lost me a long time ago. So the prospect of combining the two into a survival game was really exciting. So I was very pleased when I figured out that Lego Fortnite was just like Valheim. Well, I mean exactly like Valheim. The beginning of the game is nearly identical. I was picking up loose sticks and rocks from the ground for materials and picking up raspberries from bushes to keep me from being hungry. But once the wonder of this new world wore off, I started to find out that this game had some issues. One of the first things you'll do in Lego Fortnite is establish a base, where one of the only differences between Valheim and Lego Fortnite is introduced. If you build this town totem called the Village Square, you claim an area to be your village. This allows the player to craft new structures, unlock new recipes, and house NPC villagers. The village is upgradable with resources, and the higher level your village, the more NPCs you can house. Although the NPCs were kind of useless. Sure, they could do jobs for you, but it was almost always quicker to collect the resources yourself. The only benefit I got from them was when they were killing skeletons at night for me, so I didn't have to waste durability on my sword. Other than that, there was really no point in having NPC villagers. I think in this style of game like Valheim, there's really no point in having NPC villagers. And even Valheim, being a way more complex a game than Lego Fortnite, saw no use in putting NPC villagers in. It's kind of cool, I guess, it gives the game a bit more life, but the NPCs just lack a little something. The easiest way for the devs to improve the usefulness of NPCs is to make them more akin to Terraria's NPCs. In Terraria, each NPC has a purpose, which in most cases is to sell you unique items that only they can give you. This makes NPCs feel important and worthwhile to seek out and build homes for them. In Lego Fortnite, the NPCs are more annoying if anything, and I had no care in the world if they moved in or not. It reminded me of Animal Crossing NPCs but in a survival game. You're just not going to care about them. From then on, it was back to Valheim gameplay. I was collecting a ton of resources in the grass biome to craft all available crafting tables and upgrade my village and workbenches. Then I ventured into the forest caves, where I gained access to knotwood and marble, which allowed me to make better items for the desert biome. Here I needed heat resistance, so I made a cool charm and snowberry milkshakes to cool me down as I ventured into the lava caves and got ores, to then eventually make good enough tools to venture into the snowy mountains. Here I needed cold resistance, so I made a heat charm and crafted spicy burgers to keep me warm. And then once you collect all the snow biome resources, the game kind of just runs out of crafting recipes to give you, and there's nothing left to do. So in that sense, it is identical to Valheim. Valheim has a ton more content though. It at least poses a story and has roadblocks of boss battles that drop unique items needed to progress, and it's clearly building towards an end goal of meeting Odin. It feels like there's a purpose in progressing because there's a defined end goal. Lego Fortnite drops you into its world and doesn't tell you anything. It's posed as a sandbox game, and it feels weird because it doesn't fit the definition of a sandbox game at all. Lego Fortnite fits into a more traditional story-based survival game genre, like The Forest or Subnautica or Valheim. It's not supposed to be a sandbox game. Sandbox games allow you to interact with every single little aspect of the world, like a kid that can move every grain of sand in a sandbox. That's why they call it a sandbox game. Lego Fortnite's world is not entirely interactable. In fact, it's very selective as to what you can interact with. Because of this, I feel it needs some kind of story, some kind of purpose for the player, because otherwise, what the hell is the point of collecting all these resources and progressing? The term progression itself implies that you're working towards an end goal. There is no 67% progress if there isn't a defined 100% completion. Minecraft is labeled as a 3D sandbox game. Being a sandbox game, you can get away with not having a story because the entire world is able to be manipulated, so it gives the player full freedom to express their creativity and play the game how they want to. But even for some players, that isn't enough to make them want to play it. Some kids get put in the sandbox and they're like, cool, sand. What the fuck do I do with all this shit? So you slap on the word survival to make Minecraft a 3D survival sandbox game, and boom, purpose. Minecraft doesn't necessarily need a storyline for most people. It's a fun, creative, open-world sandbox where you can do whatever you want and be creative, because building stuff is done with the blocks you mine and craft, and it's entirely up to the player's creative limits to build whatever they want. In Lego Fortnite, building a house is a point-and-click adventure where the game does it for you. Tell me why this one has a story and an ending, and this one doesn't. Lego Fortnite isn't a sandbox game that expresses creative freedom. It's a traditional survival game that literally directly mimics Valheim. It should have a story with an end goal. Apart from that, there's one last issue I have with the game. There's a distinct lack of variety when it comes to enemies. You're telling me that with both the Lego and Fortnite IPs, we only came up with 6 enemy types total? You have skeletons, bugs, like the scorpion and spider, etc., crabs, wolves, humans, and brutes. The enemies are practically the same across every biome. Why? Each biome should have a brand new set of enemies. It makes sense to repeat humans and skeletons with minor differences depending on the biomes, but every enemy is the same across the board in Lego Fortnite. Wolves become sand wolves, then frost wolves. Crabs become sand crabs, then lava crabs, then frost crabs. Brutes become sand brutes, then frost brutes. It's all the same. They just get a color change and more health in the newer biomes. The one exception is the lava crab, which explodes if you don't kill it fast enough, and that is good, but it's still another crab. The other enemies are just carbon copies of each other. Humans and skeletons being the same makes sense because humans are limited. The bugs are pretty much all the same with slight differences too, but again, it's just a little bug enemy, so I can glance past that. But your main biome-specific enemies should be a lot more creative. You can literally make any kind of creature with Lego bricks, and instead we're repeating enemies? I'm hoping with future updates we'll get a little more diversity in this ecosystem when it comes to the aggressive mobs. Also, no boss battles? Come on, surely we're gonna get those in the future. This issue is the one that I feel will be fixed with time. The game just needs more content. And it seems like Epic Games is promising that these game modes will get regular updates. That being said, I need to be clear that I really like Lego Fortnite. It shows a lot of promising things, and I trust that content updates will come and resolve a lot of these issues. This game really engaged me in the same exact fashion that Valheim did. I was excited to build new gear and tools and discover what lies ahead in the new biomes. And using both the Lego and Fortnite IPs created a very cozy world that I visually was very familiar with. Even the crafting and structure of progression is very streamlined and simplified in my opinion, when compared to Valheim. I never felt lost or confused at how to do things. I feel like this is important for a game like this, where the player will eventually run out of content and have to wait for an update for more. Jumping back into Valheim would be like relearning how to fly a plane, with how complex their systems and mechanics are to keep track of. When you first play the game, it's fun and engaging to learn the systems to progress, but when they take so long to update it, the player will eventually stop playing. In that time spent not playing, you forget everything you've learned, and it discourages you from wanting to get back into a game like Valheim. Lego Fortnite seems so simple that I wouldn't really need to relearn much to jump back in, which I guess can be a positive. Let me give you an example. In Lego Fortnite, to get more health, you craft a health charm and equip it. boom, more hearts, permanently there as long as you have that item. In Valheim, you have to eat different types of food to stack up health bar buffs, which involves crafting and carrying multiple kinds of foods. Not to mention, to give you max benefits to your health, you have to make more and more complex recipes to even seek out the new content you're jumping back into experience. If you forget where to get the ingredients for the food you need, you have to refigure it all out, and it's way more daunting than the mechanic that Lego Fortnite provides the player. And honestly, it makes sense. Lego Fortnite is geared for kids, while Valheim really isn't. So there you go. Lego Fortnite is the exact same game as Valheim, just with less content. There's less enemy diversity, less biomes, less mechanics. It's basically a simplified and streamlined version of Valheim because, it's for kids. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. But it feels a little bit of a cheap shot to just straight up copy Valheim. As the bigger company combining two of the most beloved intellectual properties for kids in modern times, using the exact same gameplay loop as Valheim's, I can't help but feel bad for Iron Gate Studios. Valheim in its current state is a much better game than Lego Fortnite, but it's also more complicated, more grindy, and a lot more niche to get into. Lego Fortnite will have a much larger team behind it to provide more content to the game and regularly keep players coming back to it, whereas Valheim has already lost its luster for someone like me. Because of this, eventually Lego Fortnite will surpass Valheim's content and make Valheim more irrelevant than it already is. The fact that it's literally included as a free game mode within Fortnite already means it'll always have a player base and be more relevant than Valheim could ever be. It's a rough time for Iron Gate Studios, honestly. They walked so Lego Fortnite could run. I think instead of comparing Lego Fortnite to Valheim or Minecraft, there's a much larger comparison we can make here, with Lego Fortnite being one of 3 new game modes being added to Fortnite. We're about to see Fortnite versus Roblox. Obviously, they've already been competing in the past, but I feel like with these updates and future updates to come, Fortnite is going to try to crush its main competitor Roblox in the future. The brand that Epic Games has created with Fortnite and the pull that they have with mainstream media IPs has given them the opportunity to make full-scale game modes within the Fortnite game. Fortnite is no longer just a battle royale. It's now becoming a hub for many different games that, with Epic Games' polish, will only become bigger and better over time. Not to mention, they already have a ton of community-made game modes available to play. Lego Fortnite is just the major one to get it all started. It's why they also released Rocket Racing and Fortnite Festival. Epic Games already had the Rocket League IP for the racing game mode, but now they teamed up with Harmonix, who were the developers of Rock Band, and made a Guitar Hero-esque rhythm game using a library of songs from very popular artists like The Weeknd, Kendrick Lamar, Lady Gaga, and more. These game modes seem more bare bones than Lego Fortnite, which, as previously stated, is also in a bit of a raw state. But they will probably receive content updates and then get revisited in their better state when the new Battle Royale seasons come out, or new game modes bring players back into Fortnite. So what do you think? Will Fortnite be able to drag players away from Roblox? Also, how are you liking Lego Fortnite? Let me know in the comments below.